So I'm basically just gonna pick up where I left off. Okay, so hello all. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here and tune in. This is my story time on my domestic violence. Okay, so basically after the ambulance whisked him away and he ended up in ICU on the breathing machine. I had my grandma's husband to come pick me, my kids, and my auntie up that night, and we went back to my grandma's house. And so the next day, I ended up getting my uncle's van and drove over to his mom's house, to Mister's mom's house, and to let her know where her son was and what was going on with him or whatever. So I explained the whole story to her, and I let her know that, you know, where he was or whatever. Well, that he went to the hospital. At the time, I didn't know what was going on. I only knew he was at the hospital. And so she got dressed right away and went on up to the hospital and found out about him. And from her is how I found out he was in ICU. But she related to her whole family that I ran him over with my car on purpose. I was trying to kill him. Although I probably should have been. I don't know if that's right to say, but I wasn't. Anyways, okay, so I stayed at my grandma's house, and yeah, basically I never went back to his house again. I stayed at my grandma's house for a long time. He ended up leaving that apartment because he said that he didn't want to be there without his family. So he left and went back to the place we were living before that apartment, which was where his mom had took over the apartment and everything. Okay. Once he went back there, at this time, his mom had a new boyfriend, and he wasn't having this whole your grown sons coming to live here. Like, he wasn't having that. And he basically gave her ultimatum, either you kick your kids out or I'm leaving. And so she decided that she was gonna leave with him, and she let her kids have that place, and they didn't have the money or nothing to keep that place up. But anyways, okay, so now this all happened like September. I think it was like September of 2009 was when all of this ICU and the car accident and all of that all happened. Okay, so I was living with my grandma, and now we're in February. Was it February? Yeah, February of 2010. Was it February? Yes, I had got approved for my housing authority house, and so I moved on in. Me and my kids moved in, and like I just mentioned, he was staying at that other apartment, and his mom chose her boyfriend, and so she left, and basically the lights got cut off because she took her lights with her. And what else? I think rent started getting behind, but anyways, it's not important. Um, he basically needed somewhere to stay. He couldn't stay there anymore. He needed somewhere to stay. So I let him come sleep on my couch. And yeah, me thinking, okay, I've been away from you this whole time. We're not in a relationship. Let me back up a minute. I missed the story. So there was a time I was in the projects, hanging out with my aunt, my friend, a couple of my cousins, and a couple of friends. And he, at the time, I didn't know where he was. I hadn't seen him since the accident, and I was okay with that. And all I hear is, there go Mister coming down the street. And I look up and I see him walking down the street, and y'all dart behind those houses and took off. I was just gone, running through grass, dirt, ants. It ain't matter what it was. I was out of there, gone. I was so terrified for my life, so terrified. And I was so scared. But all right, so okay, so while I'm living in that house, he needed a place to stay, so I let him come sleep on my couch. And the abuse just didn't stop. I felt like after all this time, you know, it wouldn't be none of that. We're not together anymore. No, none of that. It didn't stop. It kept going. It continued to go. And by this time, I was fighting back. And yeah, it didn't matter what it was that I was fighting back with, but I was fighting back. So Fast forward, my dad ended up dying maybe like 4 days after I moved into this place, and that just devastated me. All right, so I went up to New York for his funeral. For I think I was there for like 2 weeks, and which those 2 weeks while I was gone, he stayed in my house and whatever. So once I came back, by this time, like I had started getting onto the party scene. I found out what it felt like to go out to the club, and instead of playing housewife all the time. So I was going out with my friends and stuff like that. And he wasn't happy about that. He started calling me a bad mom and saying I didn't care about my kids and all kinds of stuff just because I wanted to go out. So one night he was supposed to be at work, and we had been arguing that whole day, and he was supposed to be at work, and I went to the club with my friends, and while I was in the club, he came walking in, and I noticed him, and my heart instantly dropped. I was so scared, like, why are you here? How do you know where I'm at? Thinking stuff like that. Okay, so I had my cousin and a friend, which the friend was a stud, so she dressed like a guy, and I had literally I just told her, if another dude try to pull on me, I'm finna stand in front of you like you my nigga. Sorry about that word. Like you mine. And she was like, all right, cool. And the next dude that happened to pull me happened to be him. So he's all in my ear. Tell that to let you go. Tell him to let you go. And I'm like, that's not no dude. That's a female. I don't care. I'm about to rock his. I don't curse, y'all. So bear with me. I'm about to rock his ish. And I'm just like, that's a girl. Don't hit her. Do not hit her. And she was so cool with everybody in the club, like the DJ, the owner, all them. So basically, all I had to do was look at her wrong way, and she had that junk on lock. So she seen what was going down, and she went and let them know, hey, you got a group of people you need to kick up out of here. And he got kicked out the club, and he was pissed off by that. And I left my phone in the car that night. So I partied the rest of the night because you gone now. I'm gonna have fun. Okay, so by the time I got into the car, I had so many missed calls, so many voice messages where he was calling me the B word, telling me to get back here. And when I get there, he punching me in my ass and all this type of stuff. And y'all, like, at this point, I was just over it. Like, okay, this is gonna be, we about to fight then. That's just gonna be that. So when I pulled up, I was ready to fight. And he was just, oh, come on, let's just talk. I don't want to fight. Let's just talk. And so I just was like, no, I'm just over all this. I'm over all this. And I went in the house and got his 2 little baskets, just a little circle Dollar Tree baskets with his clothes in it that he had, and took his 2 pair of shoes and put them on top of it and set it outside. And him and his friends were out there, and they all were just calling me all types of names, everything. And I told him, I said, you and your friends find you somewhere to stay. And he took his little bitty baskets. Of course, he tried to fight it, but he couldn't fight it. Get out my house. That's what I told him. And so he put his baskets in that little van him and his friends was driving, and they skedaddled. And then right after that, I got this. I already knew my light bill was gonna be high, and he knew it too. So he had already previously told me he was gonna help me pay for it. Okay, so when the light bill finally came, which was probably okay, so the light bill had came out maybe like a week after I kicked him out. So I let him know, hey, this light bill is here. You said you was gonna help pay it. He didn't even respond to me. He let his friends respond to me and told me, first of all, I kept calling. They would be the ones to pick up the phone and tell me find somebody else to call and hang up. That's what they did. Find somebody else to call, click, just like that. So I sent a text message, and then they was the ones to respond to the text message. Or find somebody else to help you pay your light bill. You figure it out on your own. You just a typical baby mama around here, depending on, just saying all kinds of stuff. Y'all, there's mosquitoes out here. Sorry. But I think I got bit here and here. That joint itching. But anyway, so, I was just like, whatever. I'm not about to sit here and beg him for this. I'm going to just let it be, And so, I left my house and I went to my grandma's house. And I do a lot of leaving, y'all. I did a lot of leaving and going to other people's houses. And that was just what I did. That was just how I escaped without letting these people know what was going on. Without letting my family know what was going on. My best way is just to come over and just make it look like it was okay, but to me I was getting away, you know. So anyways, I couldn't pay my light bill. I had no money. I didn't have anything. So I went to my grandma's house, and I was there for maybe like a good 2 months, y'all. It was a really long time. It didn't seem like it at the time, but it was about that long. And my mom was just like, why every time I talk to you, you're at my mama's house? And I was like, well, the truth is my light bill is off, and this is why. And so I just let her know that, you know, he refused to help me pay for the light bill, and I didn't have the money, so that's why it was off. And so she was just like, oh, ain't no way in the world. So to the rescue, she helped me pay for the light bill, and I got back in my house. And yeah, so basically I stayed there for the rest of the time. I stayed in that house, and he was living elsewhere. He did not live with me. He was living elsewhere, but he would come over and see the kids and stuff like that. And sometimes when he would come over, we were fighting, you know, it's just whatever. Okay, so fast forward to this was maybe like September of 2010 now. So my mom called me up, and she was just like, you know, you want to move up here to Georgia with me? And I was just like, sure. You know, I gave it yes without even thinking. Yes, I'll come. No thoughts. Where do I sign up? When I'm coming? And she was just like, okay, well, in March, you know, we're gonna go ahead and let we're gonna arrange for you to come up here in March. So I was just like, okay, cool. So I didn't let him know until like the very last minute. And finally, when I let him know, you know, that we were moving to Georgia, he was very, very upset. He told me first I took his kids away from him by breaking up with him and leaving him. Hold on, this car come back. And then next he said that I was taking the kids away from him by moving up to Georgia. And that pissed him off. And we got to fighting. Finally, when I did tell him about it, we got to fighting. We were fighting. And, you know, basically I just let him know this is a part of the reason why I'm leaving. Like, there's no way. I can't keep doing this. And, of course, you know, he comes with the whole, oh, I won't do it again and all that they come along with. But, all right, so fast forward now. It's the time, it's March now. It's like, now it's not March. It's maybe February or January of 2011. And so I'm just, you know, packing up my house slowly. Maybe it was more like February. Packing up my house slowly. And I asked him, can he come over and help me move? Because I had some heavy furniture, and I'm a night owl, so I like to move at night. Nobody else is available. So I asked him, you know, can you help me come move some stuff? And he was just like, you know, cool, yeah, I'll help you. But at this time, y'all, it wasn't there was no abuse, none of that. It was strictly just about the kids, whatever. And wait, before I even tell y'all about that story, I'm gonna pause that because I forgot one story. There was a time where I had friends over. People were actually at the house, and we were sitting there in the living room, and he said something to me, and I said something back to him. And then we started that whole little play slapping. I won't really say we started. I started it. I did that to him because I wanted him to feel like, you know, what that felt. And it's kind of like also within me, I felt like he wasn't going to do anything in front of these people so that, you know, I can get away with these couple licks, literally. So he didn't like the fact that I kept play slapping him when he wanted me to stop. So he hauled back and slapped the heck out of me. And I got up and started swinging, and we was full-blown fighting in that kitchen. I had him by his dress, kicking him in the head, all that. Like, I was just over it. Like, I wanted to do it that time. Like, I really wanted to fight that time. I did, y'all. And I just felt like all this time behind closed doors, you want to act like you're such a cool person, and all these people want to sit up here and just smile because they don't know what's going on. You know, I ought to give them a taste of what it is. And somebody ended up calling the police. One of the neighbors ended up calling the police, and I stayed in the bathroom the entire time the police were there. And I told them, you know, I didn't want to talk. I didn't have anything to say. I didn't want to talk. And they just kept on trying to ask me to come out up until they just got tired of asking and left. And yeah, so all right, moving right back along to the other story. So we get to my house. Well, I get to pick him. I go to pick him up, and that's still at the time, I just thought he was just high, you know. So once we got to the house is when I realized he was drunk and high. So I was just like, oh, how you supposed to help me move anything if you drunk? And he was just like, I just want some you know, he said, hey, well, I just want some, you gonna give me some? I was just like, I'm not giving you anything. Like, that's not what I called you over here for. Like, we're not doing that. We don't do that. And he was just like, come on, man, come on. I was like, no. He's I came over here thinking I was finna get that from you. I could have went to that shawty house like I was about to. I was like, well, do you need me to take you over there? Because you didn't have to come here, you know? And he just got really, really mad and just slapped the heck out of me. Slapped me so hard, my earring went flying out my ear. And his brother was over there at the time. And his brother was like, yo, man, keep your hands off of her, dog. And then he was just like, basically like, no, he wasn't doing that. At this point, I just slapped him back. And then we was just fighting. And I ended up grabbing my phone, and I was like, this is the time I'm going to call the police. I'm actually going to call the police. And I grabbed my phone, and I went running into my room, and he caught up to me and came in there too. So I ran back into the living room. And then once he came out there, I ran back into the room and hurried up. And while I'm running back to the room, I'm down to 911. So the phone's ringing as I'm, you know, heading into my room. And I shut the door and locked it. And he just banging on it, trying to get in, banging on it, trying to get in. And I'm in there on the phone with them. And he ended up pushing the door hard enough to the point where it opened up. And I had told him already, like, I had enough information of, you know, what the address was and what was going on. I just need y'all here, you know. And he ended up grabbing the phone and hanging it up. And so by the time the police came, well, as soon as he did that, he ended up throwing my phone on the bed and leaving. Nope. Sorry, y'all. Back up. Once he hung my phone up, I took off out the room, and he took off after me. And that's when I seen a baseball bat on the ground, and I just grabbed the baseball bat and just started swinging. I hit him in the ankle. I hit him in the wrist. I don't know where else I hit him. But I was just swinging and swinging and swinging. And after that, his brother kind of broke us up. And he was just like, man, the police on their way. And he took off out the door. Ran right out the door and took off. And then the police came. They took pictures of my neck and my face. And they were asking me if I wanted to press charges. And I let them know, yes, I do. And I let them know I was getting ready to move to Georgia. And they said that if I did not come back to Florida for my court dates, that they would put a warrant out for my arrest because they will hold me for contempt of court. And I said, well, I'm not sure if I have a way to get back up here, you know, like that. I don't have a car anymore. You know, I don't have none of that. So, you know, that's just what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, and I told these people, I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back. And they was just like, well, the best bet is just to not press charges. So I didn't. But they still took pictures and everything, and they left. And I locked all my doors and turned off all my lights and just stayed there. And he just knocking on every window, knocking on every door, just saying, open up, I'm sorry, I just want to talk to you, I just want to talk to you. And I just stayed in there, laying on the floor until he finally left. And the way that my door was, you had to lock it with the key. So in order for me to go get in my car, I first had to lock this door with a key and then go hop in well, it wasn't my car, it was my mom's truck. That story doesn't even matter of how I got that, but okay. So anyways, I made it work. I stayed in there till I felt like he was gone, and then I just prayed real quick, and I had my key ready. I already was ready. I'm gonna hurry up and just unlock my door, and then unlock, like, just my driver's side on the car, and have my key ready. So as soon as I come out, lock the house, hurry up, hop in the car, and lock the door back. And that's what I did. And I drove on to my grandma's house. And that was literally the last time he ever put his hands on me. That was the last fight we've ever gotten in. All of that. I don't have that much space on my phone, so I gotta make some space. And then I'll go ahead on and record more videos talking deeper into, I guess, the whole why I'm walking around. Well, you know why I'm walking around with one eye, but how we got to this position, I guess. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you watching, and I'll be back with another video and some old story.